All right, Shabbat Shalom. Just sharing a little bit of our walk here today. We're over in one of the reserves of Cayuga Lake, and Mama got a little ahead of me here. There she is. I'll turn this camera around, share some of this beauty. And if anybody happens to come in, maybe we'll have a conversation, but otherwise I think I'll just share some of the beauty that's been anchoring me the last 12 months through this really challenging time, both externally and internally. Solitude has a way of forcing us to see or face the stuff that we often escape externally, that we are to avoid the internal. Just saw 111. What's interesting about 111 is you look at it just from terms of number. Well, it's 1. 1, 1. If you simplify it, it becomes 3. But it's interesting because it also means, in Hebrew, it's the value of the first letter of the Aleph Beith. So, and it has that value of 111 on the lower end. It can also be 1010. Because Aleph can be 1 or 1,000. So in essence, Aleph is actually the beginning and the end, which I don't think I've ever really heard anybody talk about that. But if you were to write the numerical chart out using the Hebrew characters, the first letter would be, a number would be Aleph and 1, right? And then you go, let's just say we're doing it traditionally, right? And it obviously, it's not what I meant, sorry. But so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then ultimately you would end with Tho, which is 400, commonly called Tav. And that would be considered the end. But in reality, Aleph equals 1,000 as well. So you would have the Tho or the Tav, and then you would have another Aleph. So the interesting thing is which aspect of the Aleph equals 1 and which aspect equals 1,000. Because the other mysteries, or, and I guess in some senses it is a mystery, I think. And that mystery is that Aleph, the letter Aleph, if you hear me say it, some people would say Aleph, right? But this is in, hey, sorry, I just see the chat. I'm walking through a reserve here in central New York in the Finger Lakes region off Cayuga Lake. And just talking about some kind of mystical aspects of the Hebrew alphabet, specifically the Aleph. When you look at that letter in Hebrew, it's spelled with 3 characters: Aleph, Lamed, and I would say Pei. Right? So, but when we hear the word said, whether it's Aleph, or Aleph, we can hear 4 distinct sounds. So where is that 4th sound coming from? Right? Where's that 4th sound coming from? So I'll speak it slowly, and then we know that the first letter is the Aleph or the Aleph. Lamed, L, right? And then Pei, which is a P, P, or a F, PH. So Elaf. Elaf. So we hear the A, the L, La, and then there's this Ah, Ah, and then the Pei, which we hear because it's not a prefix, so we hear it as a F, Elaf. And so this is a key. It's a key that involves two different letters, Elaf and Pei, because there's something that's revealed in the first name for both. So when we look at that, we realize that just like there's two numerical values to the letter Aleph or Elaf, there's also two phonetic aspects to that letter. So when people say abracadabra, right, and that's something we all recognize as a magical expression, well, it's funny because in the movies, they, like the movies, they have to say it, pronounce it right, or else the spell won't work. So that's really interesting. It's also interesting because if you consider where we get the word Babylon, when we look into the Hebrew, what we actually see is it's only a 3-letter word, right? Only a 3-letter word. And it's a Beth, Lamad. So house, and then a staff. So it's in, you have a in and then a house, like authority is kind of the physical picture of what Babal or Baval means in Hebrew, which is where we get Babylon. Somebody wants a shout out for their cousin on their 20th birthday? Absolutely. Happy birthday. My son just turned 21 yesterday. So happy birthday. I take it that means that they're a Leo, a lion. Yah bless you. Yah keep you. Yah have mercy on you. So this is what fascinates me so much about Hebrew, is because there's so much to unpack when we look at it. And I can't even remember now why I was even talking about the Hebrew, but I love it so much that I can just, when you really just dive into it, there's so much that gets revealed, so much. And I see a Rachel there. Hey, Rachel, hi. Hello. Rachel, that's a Hebrew name. Reish, Chith, commonly Chet, and Lamad. I see there's a couple of people viewing. Where are you guys? Oh, there she comes. Mama! She's being pretty good sticking with me, but she loves to run through this section and see if she can spook out any squirrels. Hey, Lavanelle, happy birthday. Blessings from the woods, from nature, from Yah's creation. I mean, just look up. I could just look at this. It's just, look at the beauty of what is all around us. I mean, this is how I ground, but where my heart feels joy is with my loved ones. So nature's a great place for me to go reflect, be still, close out the distractions. But ultimately, I think life is it's about our relationships. It's about how we bless each other. It's so easy to bless each other. And it feels so good. It feels so good. Look at this beauty. Mama! Mama! Come on! I'll probably be embarrassed when I go back and watch the video and then remember what I was ultimately talking about before I digressed into the Hebrew. So a thing that I find interesting about the ancient Hebrew is I totally disagree with the modern view that there are no vowels, that they're all consonants, and that doesn't make sense, because one of the things that's so distinctive about a consonant is it's like a very kind of heavy rooted sound, whereas a vowel, sometimes a vowel can, a, e, I, o, u, they can sound very similar. See Andrea Butterfly from Florida, Sarasota, hello. We're walking through a little reserve up here in central New York on Cayuga Lake. Mama just ran off, but there's a little 15-inch beagle that is running around here with me, just coming down, approaching the water. I might be able to hear it. Shale, all shale here. This part's really pretty, where it just opens up and you're like, boom, right there on the water. And this lake, I think we're at about the widest point in the middle finger of the Finger Lakes in central New York. So there's 5 lakes, and if you're looking at a map, they would kind of look like this. That's why they're called the Finger Lakes. And literally where we are is on this finger, the middle finger, right about there. And that would be the west side, and the other side would be the east side. So that's where we are right now, at basically the widest point in the lake, which is about 3 miles. This morning when I woke up, it was just so still. I mean, I couldn't hear the water, and I have, it's like 20 feet from the water. So if there's just even a ripple, I can hear it. This is such a little great spot. There's just this random bench here on the reserve. And if you happen to ever find this little spot, there's this great little bench. And it's like you have your own little box seat to this incredible, and it's almost like it feels like you're in a stadium, because you have this kind of overhead feature, so you almost feel like you're in a box seat just looking at this incredible view. I wouldn't say it's that it's really expensive here. I mean, property on the lake is certainly more expensive than inland, but I don't think that central New York is necessarily. I think everything is really expensive right now. Inflation has been just rampant, and we've got a lot of problems. Anyway, I guess I'll wind down here while I wait for Mama. That was the walk. Just finished, came back. Probably do another couple of loops once she shows up, but that's all the views. So Shabbat Shalom, blessings, love and respect. Sorry that Mama can't say goodbye, but peace, love and respect. God bless.